The Amazon is home to some of the most incredible creatures on Earth: jaguars, pink river dolphins, and of course, the green anaconda, the largest snake in the world. Some grow over 25 feet long and weigh more than 200 kilograms, capable of swallowing prey as large as deer, caimans, and even jaguars. Recently, a video began circulating online that shocked millions. It appeared to show what looked like a glowing, writhing river of anacondas, hundreds, maybe thousands of them, sliding together through the dense rainforest, captured by what was claimed to be thermal surveillance footage. At first glance, it's terrifying. Imagine a migration so massive that it looks like an entire river is alive, twisting and turning through the trees. But here's where the mystery deepens. Is this real? So far, there has never been any verified evidence of giant anacondas migrating in such huge numbers. In fact, these snakes are usually solitary hunters, occasionally gathering in smaller numbers during the mating season. Some experts believe the viral video is simply AI-generated or digitally manipulated footage designed to shock and entertain. Still, the idea of anaconda migrations isn't entirely impossible. The Amazon basin floods seasonally, submerging vast areas of forest and forcing wildlife to move. During these shifts, multiple anacondas could end up in the same areas at once, sparking legends of massive gatherings. Local myths even speak of the Sucuriju gigante, anacondas said to reach lengths of 50 feet or more, capable of blocking rivers. Now, while the idea of a river of anacondas remains in the realm of myth and digital trickery, it's fascinating to know that a massive real-life gathering of snakes does actually occur. It just happens not in the steamy Amazon, but in the chilly, unlikely location of Narcisse, a small town in Manitoba, Canada. Every spring after the long winter thaw, something incredible happens. More than 75,000 eastern garter snakes emerge from their limestone caves in a synchronized mass awakening. This isn't a migration over a long distance, but a spectacular concentration in one place, the largest gathering of snakes anywhere in the world. The ground in designated snake dens quite literally writhes and bubbles with serpents. They pour out of sinkholes, coil together in massive mating balls, and cover the landscape in a living carpet. It's a phenomenon driven by the urgent need to mate after hibernation, and it's so reliable that the province has built special viewing platforms and tunnels to protect both the snakes and the tourists who flock to see this real-life spectacle. So, while the Anaconda River is likely a digital ghost, the snake pits of Narcisse are a powerful reminder that nature's most astonishing events are often the ones we can actually go and see for ourselves. It proves that sometimes the truth is stranger and more accessible than fiction. Whether that river of snakes is a digital masterpiece or a biological secret, the debate itself highlights our hunger for nature's grand spectacles. And that hunger is easily satisfied because our planet is already staging migrations on a scale so epic they make 100 anacondas look like a small gathering. Forget the what if for a moment and prepare for the what is. Here are the migrations that have been documented, studied, and will absolutely leave you in awe. The Monarch Butterfly's multi-generational mystery. Now, let's talk about a migration that defies logic and stretches the very concept of memory and instinct. This is the story of the Monarch Butterfly, and it involves one of the most incredible mysteries in the natural world. Every fall in North America, as the days grow shorter, millions of monarch butterflies ignite a journey south. But this isn't a simple trip. They are flying thousands of miles to a place they have never been, a specific small cluster of mountaintops in central Mexico. They arrive by the millions, so many that they drape the fir trees in living, fluttering orange and black quilts, weighing down the branches. But here is the part that baffles scientists. The butterflies that arrive in Mexico are not the same ones that began the journey. This is a multi-generational pilgrimage. The monarchs that fly south in the fall are the great-great-grandchildren of the ones who left Mexico the previous spring. This generation, known as the Methuselah generation, lives for 8 or 9 months, while their parents and grandparents lived only a few weeks. They are born with an internal inherited GPS that points them to the exact same grove of trees, a place no butterfly in their lineage has seen for at least 4 generations. How is this map passed down? Is it encoded in their genes? Is it a combination of the sun's position and the Earth's magnetic field that they are hardwired to follow? We simply don't have all the answers. It's a navigational map written in a language of instinct we are still learning to decode. The Arctic Tern's pole-to-pole odyssey. If the Monarch Butterfly's journey is a delicate, multi-generational mystery, then the Arctic Tern's migration is a feat of raw, individual endurance that borders on the unbelievable. This is the story of the animal with the longest migration in the world, a relentless pursuit of the sun. Meet the Arctic Tern, a graceful, gull-like bird that's deceptively tough. It weighs little more than a cup of coffee, yet it undertakes an annual voyage that makes every other journey on this list seem short. Each year it flies from its breeding grounds in the high Arctic, places like Greenland and northern Canada, all the way to the Antarctic coast and then back again. This isn't just a long-distance flight, it's a pole-to-pole odyssey. By doing this, the tern experiences 2 summers each year, following an endless supply of daylight and the abundant food that comes with it. The total round trip is a staggering 44,000 miles, though some tracked terns have been recorded flying over 57,000 miles in a single year. To truly grasp this distance, consider this. Over its 30-year lifespan, a single Arctic tern can fly the equivalent of going to the moon and back 3 times. It will spend most of its life in flight, soaring over open oceans, navigating storms, and gliding on sea breezes. Scientists have discovered that the tern doesn't take a straight line. It follows a winding S-shaped route up and down the Atlantic, leveraging global wind patterns to conserve energy on its epic trek. It's a lifetime of perpetual motion, a globe-trotting journey driven by an instinct to chase the eternal summer, making it the ultimate sun-seeker of the animal kingdom. The European eel's ghostly pilgrimage. Now we descend from the skies into the deep, dark water for a migration that plays out more like an ancient myth than a scientific fact. This is the story of the European eel, a creature whose life cycle is one of the planet's last great enigmas. For centuries, the origin of eels was a complete mystery. They would simply appear in European rivers as tiny, transparent glass eels, living hidden lives in fresh water for up to 20 years. Then, a dramatic transformation would occur. Their color would shift to a shimmering silver, their eyes would enlarge to absorb more light, and their digestive systems would shrivel, becoming dedicated solely to travel. Driven by an instinct we cannot fathom, they would vanish from the rivers and begin a solitary final voyage into the vastness of the Atlantic Ocean. We now know their destination is the Sargasso Sea, a legendary and eerily calm region in the Bermuda Triangle. It is a journey of over 4,000 miles, across abyssal plains and deep-sea trenches, to a place they have never been. They spawn in these deep, warm waters, and then, having completed their mission, they die. The profound mystery is that this entire final act is a ghost story. No adult eel has ever been seen spawning in the Sargasso Sea. No eggs have ever been witnessed. We only know it happens because their leaf-like larvae are eventually found drifting on currents, beginning the long journey back to the continents. This migration is a silent, epic pilgrimage to an ancestral graveyard, a secret the ocean has stubbornly refused to give up. The humpback whale's ocean-spanning song. From the silent, secret journey of the eel, we rise to the realm of the ocean's grandest and most vocal travelers, the humpback whale. This is a migration defined not just by immense distance, but by an unforgettable, haunting soundtrack. These leviathans, some as long as a school bus, undertake one of the longest journeys of any mammal on Earth. Each year, they travel up to 5,000 miles each way, navigating from the krill-rich, icy waters of the polar seas to the warm, sheltered lagoons and coastal areas of the tropics. They make this epic trek with a clear purpose: to feast in the poles and to breed and give birth in the tropics. But the journey is about more than just geography. In the warm, clear waters of their breeding grounds, the ocean fills with a strange and beautiful music. The male humpback whales sing. These are not simple calls, but complex, structured compositions that can last for 20 minutes or more and be repeated for hours on end. A single song is made up of moans, cries, groans, and chirps, arranged in chapters and themes that evolve throughout the breeding season. All the males in a population sing a similar version of the song, which slowly changes over the years, a cultural tradition passed through the deep. Scientists are still debating the full purpose of the song. Is it to attract females, to assert dominance over other males, or is it a sonar map to navigate the featureless blue? Whatever its true meaning, this symphony serves as the powerful, emotional soundtrack to their incredible journey. It is the sound of ancient instincts playing out across thousands of miles of open ocean, a profound reminder that even in the vast emptiness of the sea, life is communicating, connecting, and moving on a scale that dwarfs our own. The globe skimmer dragonfly's impossible journey. After the deep-sea ballad of the humpback whale, we turn to a migration that seems to defy the very laws of physics. This is the story of the globe skimmer dragonfly, an insect that performs an intercontinental odyssey that would be a monumental challenge for any animal, let alone one that weighs less than a paperclip. The globe skimmer, a delicate crimson-hued dragonfly, undertakes a multi-generational migration that spans the Indian Ocean. Its incredible round-trip journey from India to Africa and back covers a staggering 11,000 to 13,000 miles, a distance that rivals the Arctic Tern's flight. But how does a creature with such fragile wings and a body seemingly built for a brief local life accomplish this? The secret lies in strategy and surrender to the elements. These dragonflies are masters of the sky, catching powerful seasonal wind currents, known as monsoons, like tiny living sailboats. They have been observed flying at altitudes of over 6,000 feet, riding these aerial highways to conserve energy. They are not fighting their way across the ocean. They are skillfully using its atmospheric rivers. This journey cannot be completed in a single lifetime. It is a relay race spanning 4 generations. One generation sets off from India, caught by the winds to Africa. Their offspring then pick up the journey, moving further, until a subsequent generation catches the return monsoon winds back to the Indian subcontinent. It is a breathtaking feat of instinct and endurance. This tiny, gossamer insect, braving open ocean and predatory birds, demonstrates that the drive to migrate is so powerful it can launch the most fragile of creatures on an impossible journey, proving that true strength isn't always about size, but about an unbreakable will to travel encoded in the smallest of frames. The Sardine Run. From the silent, strategic journey of the dragonfly, we plunge into one of the ocean's most chaotic and spectacular events. This isn't a migration of a single species, but a colossal movement of life that triggers the largest gathering of predators on the planet, the Sardine Run. Each year, during the Southern Hemisphere's winter, a monumental force gathers off the coast of South Africa. Billions of sardines, moving north along the Agulhas bank, form a single massive super shoal known as a bait ball that can be over 7 miles long, a solid, shimmering river of silver visible from aerial footage. This dense living mass is so vast it can be detected by satellite. But the true spectacle begins when the predators arrive. The Sardine Run is the greatest feeding frenzy on Earth. It starts with common dolphins, thousands of them, working in military-like precision to herd the sardines into tight, frantic balls against the water's surface. This coordinated attack is the signal that draws in everything else. Almost instantly, the scene erupts into a primal melee. Cape fur sharks slice through the bait balls. Squadrons of dive-bombing gannets plummet from the sky like living missiles, hitting the water with audible force. From the depths, bride's whales and even the occasional orca surge upward, their gaping mouths swallowing tens of thousands of fish in a single gulp. The water boils with silver scales, dark fins, and white foam. This is not just a migration, it is an aquatic wildfire of consumption, a breathtaking and brutal testament to the interconnectedness of the ocean's food web. For a few intense weeks, the Sardine Run transforms a stretch of South African coastline into the most dramatic theatre of life and death in the natural world. The Christmas Island Red Crab March. If you want to talk about an invasion of epic proportions, look no further than Christmas Island. Every year, this remote Australian territory undergoes one of the most dramatic and visually stunning transformations on the planet. It begins with the first heavy rains of the wet season. This is the signal. And from the lush central jungles, they emerge, not by the thousands, but by the tens of millions. A crimson army of red crabs begins its legendary march to the sea. This isn't a casual stroll, it's a single-minded, relentless pilgrimage. They pour out of the forest, scaling cliffs, tumbling down banks, and completely overwhelming anything in their path. They flow through towns, across roads, and over beaches in a living, clicking, scurrying river. The sound is unforgettable, a constant rustling and clattering of millions of shells. And here's the most incredible part. The entire human community on the island shuts down and adapts to them. They don't just watch, they actively help. Main roads are closed during the peak of the migration. The island has even built these incredible purpose-made crab bridges, colorful overpasses for the crabs to cross safely, and crab tunnels that funnel them under busy streets. But why? What is driving this massive, risky exodus? It's all about the next generation. The crabs are racing to the shoreline to spawn. The males arrive first to dig burrows in the sand, and after mating, the females release their eggs into the ocean in a breathtakingly synchronized event timed with the lunar cycle. It's a brutal journey. Thousands don't survive the heat or the distance. But for those that make it, the result is a spectacular release of millions of tiny larvae into the surf, ensuring the cycle of life continues. The daily deal vertical migration. And now, we arrive at number 1. Forget journeys across continents or oceans. The greatest migration on Earth is not a horizontal trek, but a vertical one. And it doesn't happen once a year. It happens twice, every single day, in every single ocean, in a spectacle of such immense scale it is almost impossible to comprehend. This is the daily deal vertical migration. As the sun sets and darkness blankets the sea, a massive uprising begins. Trillions upon trillions of marine creatures, from tiny ghostly plankton and shimmering krill to squid and lanternfish, make a collective journey from the inky blackness of the deep, swimming hundreds of meters up to the surface waters to feed under the safe cover of night. This vast living layer of organisms is so dense and so widespread that it creates a phenomenon known as the deep scattering layer. For decades, sonar operators were baffled by this false seafloor that seemed to rise and fall with the sun. We now know it was the collective mass of this migrating ocean life. Then, as dawn breaks, this entire biological cloud reverses its course, diving back down into the profound darkness of the deep to hide from predators during the day. This daily, global-scale yo-yo movement involves more individuals than all other animal migrations on the planet combined. But its impact goes far beyond the ocean. This is the planet's heartbeat. By moving carbon from the surface to the deep sea every day, this migration acts as a massive biological pump, fundamentally helping to regulate Earth's climate. In sheer mind-boggling biomass, in geographic scope, and in its vital importance to the functioning of our world, this silent, rhythmic pulse of life is, without question, the greatest and most important migration on Earth. Thanks for watching. If you were amazed by these real-world wonders, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss our next adventure into the wild. Let us know in the comments which migration left you the most stunned. Until next time, keep exploring.